Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my WWE Monday Night Raw review for September 24th, 2018. But you can just look at the upload date on the bottom because that's most likely going to be the same date. But I'm just going to get right into the review. We had Corey Graves, Michael Cole, and Renee Young on commentary for this show. And the show opens up with Baron Corbin in the parking lot backstage. And the Authority arrive. And I kind of like this segment because Triple H kind of felt like he was out of place in this segment, so he just kind of walked off, which I thought was funny. But Stephanie McMahon isn't happy how Baron Corbin has been running things on Raw, how things have still been chaotic. And Baron Corbin, she's especially too not happy that Baron Corbin put himself in a Universal Championship match last week. And Baron Corbin's talking about how the Shield has just been pushing his buttons, so he had no choice. So Stephanie McMahon says that he's going to be in a six-man tag team match where he can pick two tag team partners to go against the Shield in the main event. I like this segment here. I thought it was good. I'll give it an up. I thought it kind of did a good job in setting up the main event for the show. We also found out, too, even though you should have known this, from social media and stuff like that, that today was Stephanie McMahon's birthday. So happy birthday, Stephanie McMahon. And then the Shield come out to cut a promo, and Dean Ambrose says that they're the workhorses of WWE, and Roman Reigns says that him and Seth Rollins are carrying the two most important championships in WWE, and everybody's gunning them down. And they talk about how the Shield is the most dominant faction in WWE history, pretty much. And then Baron Corbin comes out and talks about how everybody hates the Shield singles when they're separate. But together, everybody hates the Shield because they take up their spots on the roster. But it's going to be easy for him to find a tag team partner. But he's not the only one that hates the Shields. And then the Pack come out, the Pack come out, or the Pact. I don't know exactly what their name is. And Braun Strowman says that he's going to take Roman Reigns' Universal Championship, but before that, they're going to destroy two of them at WWE Super Showdown. Because it's going to be the Shield versus the Pack at WWE Super Showdown. And then Seth Rollins says that the Pack have their that Braun Strowman has his math skills won. There's three of them. But then this is pretty much used as an angle to try to get Dean Ambrose to turn on the Shield. McIntyre and Ziggler talk about, Dolph Ziggler. And I kind of like that it was Dolph Ziggler that was talking to him because during the brand extension, Ambrose and Dolph were both on SmackDown when it originally started. So I kind of liked it was kind of him that was doing most of the talking. But Dolph Ziggler talks about how when Dean Ambrose was on SmackDown, he was thriving as a single star. He was winning all these championships, which isn't true because Dean Ambrose started to kind of flounder on SmackDown, but whatever. And he didn't need the Shield. And right now, all he is just a sidekick to Rollins and Reigns because they have championships and he has nothing. And McIntyre says that Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins didn't even give Dean Ambrose a phone call when he got injured. And they've always kind of seen him as second win to the Shield. I liked this a lot. And they even talked about, too, how Dean Ambrose got nothing out of helping Rollins and Reigns win/keep their championships. And how Dean Ambrose has proven that he can do just fine on his own without the Shield. And then the Shield gets sick of hearing about, and I like too how it was Rollins and Reigns that was cutting them off, and they even went on and started talking about how they wouldn't even let you speak for yourself. But the Shield wants to fight them, so the Pack goes to get down there to fight the Shield, but Baron Corbin doesn't want to have any of this happen, so the segment just kind of ends. But I like this segment here. I hope it's not just. I hope though that I'll get to what happened at the end of the show. That this means now that Dean Ambrose eventually isn't going to turn heel because he essentially already kind of should have turned heel, but whatever. I like this segment though. I'll give it an up. And then we had the first match on the show. It was Finn Balor with Bayley versus Jinder Mahal with Alicia Fox and Sunil Sin. And this was pretty much just to set up the or to kind of promote season 2 of the Mixed Match Challenge, because there was really no reason for this match to happen. This match sucked. It wasn't good. I'm not really going to talk about it too much. Finn Balor goes for his drop kick in the corner, but Sunil Sin tucks his leg out from underneath him, and Jinder Mahal tries to beat him with a roll-up by holding the tights, but Finn Balor kicks out, and then Jinder Mahal goes to take out Finn Balor, but Bayley pulls Jinder Mahal's legs out from underneath him, and Alicia Fox doesn't do anything, so Sunil Sin has to tell her to go do something, and Bayley takes out Alicia Fox, and then she takes out Sunil Sin with a Bayley to belly, and Finn Balor rolls up Jinder Mahal and gets the win. It was kind of pathetic that Finn Balor had to beat Jinder Mahal with a roll-up, but whatever. And then afterwards, Jinder Mahal beats the shit out of Sunil Sin, but then calms himself down because he has enlightenment. And this actually made Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox, or Mahalisha, be able to work together. I thought the segment sucked. It was terrible. I'm going to give it a down. It was just awful. And yeah, I don't know what the point of this was. And then we had a 6-woman tag team match. Natalya and the Bella Twins versus the Wyatt Squad. The biggest spot in this match is Brie Bella was doing the yes kicks to Liv Morgan, and Liv Morgan gets knocked out. And I watched it live, and you didn't really know what happened at first. And you could kind of tell she was knocked out because Brie Bella, she pretty much had to kind of act like she wrestled her into the corner and it got the heat on, but you could just totally see that she was knocked out. And then some fan posted this on Twitter, which I had to find on NoDQ.com because I banned from Twitter. And you could see that Liv Morgan totally got knocked out. And you could see that Liv Morgan, she pretty much really she didn't do anything beyond this point. So yeah, I even said this in my group chat that I'm in. I think they have to get Brie Bella neither needs to get away from the ring because I think it was 3 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. She nearly injured herself doing a suicide dive, so I just don't want to see either her get injured or somebody else get injured because her wrestling is a scary thing right now. I'm not saying like she's doing this on purpose, obviously, but she is eventually going to get to the point where she could seriously hurt somebody. So yeah. But the match continues, but Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan really only wrestle the match. So it was essentially a handicap match after this. They get the heat on Brie Bella, and then Natalya gets the hot tag, and Nikki Bella gets taken out, and Brie Bella goes to check on her, and nothing happens to Brie Bella. So I don't know if this is going to lead to something in the future with like Natalya, where she gets upset that the Bella twins really didn't care that she was being hurt, or if they had to improvise and have Brie Bella do this because Liv Morgan was supposed to take her out or something. But then Natalya gets Sarah Logan in the sharpshooter, but Ruby Riott tagged herself in, hit a super kick on Natalya, and then hit the Riott kick on Natalya for the win. I'm going to give this a down, but it really has nothing. I probably was going to give this a down anyways because I still don't care about the Riott Squad, but I hope Liv Morgan's alright. I'm assuming she's going to be fine because, she's not knocked out, but it's going to be it's a terrible time for the women's division on Raw right now because, with Evolution coming up, which they really haven't promoted that much recently, which I'm surprised because they were talking all about it. Now they didn't bring it up once on this show really. But anyhow, with Sasha Banks getting injured, and Alexa Bliss hurt, it's just a terrible time to get injured right now. But whatever. I didn't like this though. It gets it down. I just don't care about any of this stuff. Then we had the Connor's Cure segment. So I'm gonna get a lot of flack, but I was kind of disappointed. This is what the Authority were here for, because normally when they show up, something big happens, and they would just and I don't hate the fact. I like the fact that WWE does this type of stuff, even though I've said before that we know they do it because philanthropy is the new business model. Because Stephanie McMahon sent that out on Twitter, but um, I thought they were gonna announce like a big match or announce something about the women's tag team titles or something. But when it was this, I was a little bit disappointed. But it was essentially a Connor's Cure segment. It's about what you would expect. They talk about what it is, which we should know what it is because they say they've been a part of this for a few years now, and then they went out these two people who had the sickness, and they gave them championships because they're fighting the good fight. And they had this call um, that because Honda participated and partnered with WWE, where they brought it all around the arenas and put their hands all over it and stuff like that. Um, and the guys gave them $200,000 or something like that, or a million, I forget. I think it was 1,000 because a million sounds like too much. For Connor's Cure. I'm gonna give this an up because it's nice that WWE does this type of stuff, but um, really don't. I mean, it's a Connor's Cure segment. It's a typical segment because now we're gonna see this next month because the breast cancer segment's coming up. But yeah, it's nice that they do this type of stuff. And then Dean Ambrose is backstage, and Dolph Ziggler comes up and pretty much tries to talk Dean Ambrose even more. He kind of essentially says the same stuff, except, just said it backstage versus just in the ring. Where he talked about how he was there with him on SmackDown, and he wants Dean Ambrose, and he gives Dean Ambrose a choice that he can either beat the crap out of him with um, the Pack, or he can take the beating. So I like this. Let's get it up. And then we had Chad Gable with Bobby Roode versus Connor with Victor. Chad Gable cut the promo, like one of those little video promos talking about how he's going to win because he's glorious. And Connor says that he's going to destroy Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. And Connor beats Chad Gable. I don't like this because, one, I don't like this feud. Two, I don't like the way Bobby Roode and Chad Gable are being used. And three, it's 50-50 booking. Last week, Chad Gable beat Victor. This week, Connor beat Chad Gable. Nobody gets over. 50-50 booking, getting it down. Just end this feud. I've had enough of it. Then the Authority's backstage, and Charlie Caruso comes up and wants to get a word with Triple H about what The Undertaker said about him last week. And Triple H does an interview and says that Undertaker said that I've become a corporate guy, but at Melbourne, Australia, we're not fighting in an office. We're fighting in a wrestling arena. I'm going to put The Undertaker down and make sure that he's never seen again. And he even talked about The Undertaker slowly starting to have his last years. I thought this promo was great by Triple H, getting it up. I really enjoyed it. Then we had a Raw Tag Team Championship match. Raw Tag Team Champions Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre versus The Revival. I like this match, but I'm really disappointed that they just threw this match out there on Raw, so I'll give that a down. Because I really feel like the WWE could have made a feud out of this and could have turned the Revival face, but of course this was just to give the Revival something, so whatever. I like this match a lot, though. I thought it was really good. It was a really nice match. The Revival hit a suplex into a splash on Dolph Ziggler, and he kicks out. Ziggler hits a super kick. McIntyre hits a wicked headbutt on Dawson. And eventually McIntyre and Ziggler hit their zigzag Claymore combination for the win. But I thought this match was really good. I even liked the spot where Dawson or Dash, I forget which one it was, did the tornado DDT onto McIntyre on the outside on the floor. Thought that was nice. So this match was really good. but it just sucks that this. Think about how much this match really could have been if this was like a feud and stuff like that. So the match gets enough, but the fact that they just kind of threw this out there on Raw without doing like a feud out of it is just stupid. Because, gotta get the Shield and the Pact in a feud. Nobody else matters on this goddamn show. Then we had the Kevin Owens show, and Elias acts like he's going to do his performance, but essentially he probably just didn't really in real life have enough time, but I like the way he kind of used it to get heat, saying that whoever Raw was tonight, I forget where, doesn't deserve his performance. And Kevin Owens comes out, and they pretty much hype up the match they have coming up at Super Showdown, where they're going to team up to face Bobby Lashley and John Cena, which I liked. And he wants to bring out Lio Rush. Lio Rush comes out and makes fun of Elias and Kevin Owens and talks about how he's the hype man for Bobby Lashley. I did like the joke where they tell Lio Rush to come down to the ring, and they bring out what's it called? Not a step stool, but a booster seat, and put it on the steel chair and said that now the chair fits his height. I thought that was funny. And Lio Rush says that he's not stupid. He's a 23-year-old, even though he's a 23-year-old piece of gold. He's going to come down there with Bobby Lashley. So then we had the match between Bobby Lashley with Lio Rush versus Elias with Kevin Owens. I thought this match was pretty good. Bobby Lashley looked really dominant in this match. I liked the way Elias was targeting the lead of Bobby Lashley. But then eventually Bobby Lashley spears himself and Elias outside the ring. And Kevin Owens goes to go after Lio Rush, and he accidentally takes out Bobby Lashley. And they pretty much do the same segment as last week, where Elias and Kevin Owens try to take out Lio Rush, but Bobby Lashley comes in and makes the save. I like this, gets it up. I thought it was done very well. And then I like the next segment. So Drew McIntyre was backstage. It says Seth Rollins, but it's supposed to say Drew McIntyre. But Seth Rollins comes up to him, and he pretty much tries to do the same thing that the Pact have been trying to do to the Shield. He tries to get Drew McIntyre tension rising in the Pact by telling Drew McIntyre that he's a great talent, but Braun Strowman and Dolph Ziggler don't care about him. Braun Strowman's just using him to take out the Shield and get the Universal Championship, and how he's the one that's carrying Dolph Ziggler because he's always the one that has to carry him out of his matches, help him retain his championship, and he hasn't gotten any recognition for what he deserved. He's never even had an Intercontinental Championship match, and he says maybe you should try to focus on you guys' problems instead of trying to cause problems between us. And then when Rollins walks away, Dolph Ziggler walks up and asks Drew McIntyre what that was about, and Drew says not to worry about it, and he walks away. I thought the segment was awesome, getting it up. And then Kevin Hart gives a WWE quiz to the actress that's going to be in that movie coming out called like Tested or something, and it's all questions about him. I thought it was cute. And then eventually she asks who the best dancer is, because he's asking questions like, how do you go into the ring? And she talks, and he says you go into the bottom rope, and who's the best commentator? And since he did guest commentary, and she said like Naomi's the best dancer in WWE. So then she goes to body slam him, but it just cut away. Then we had Alicia Fox with Alexa Bliss and Mickie James versus Nia Jax with Emma Moon. Nia Jax and Emma Moon cut a little video promo, plug in that Nia Jax is going to have some sort of award going down at the Year Awards called the Step Up Award or something like that. They use that in there. And they say that they want to just mess with Alexa Bliss. Nia Jax won with a Samoan drop. This match was nothing. So this match gets it down. And I don't really get why Alicia Fox even got any offense in on it, because it just wasn't believable at all. And then Dean Ambrose was backstage again. And Drew McIntyre comes up and pretty much talks about how Seth Rollins came up and tried to get tension started between us, and questions if he did it because he knows we're right, or if he's trying to actually start tension between us. I kind of like this backstage segment because this essentially was a way for because they're both kind of could turn on their partners, so I kind of liked that they were together. It was a good dynamic, so I liked it. And then we had a video package for the rivalry between Undertaker and Triple H. I thought it was obviously really good, so he gets it up. Then we had the main event. It was the Shield versus Baron Corbin and two mystery partners. And I figured I hadn't seen AOP the whole show, so I figured it was going to be them, and it was. It was AOP with Drake Maverick ringside, and I thought this match was really good. The Shield get the advantage early, but then the heels take over and destroy Seth Rollins throughout the rest of the matchup. They destroy the whole Shield, and they throw Reigns into the steps and hit the last chapter on him on the outside. They beat the crap out of Seth Rollins. I liked when he got the hot tag. He went for the Falcon Arrow, but couldn't hit it on one of the AOP members. During this, the Pac did come out and they sit on the aisleway and watch the match from the stage. And then they tried to go down to the ring at one point, and this distracted the Shield, so to the point where Baron Corbin and AOP attack him from behind. And then Dean Ambrose gets the hot tag on Baron Corbin, and he starts going off on everybody. And then the match breaks down into chaos, and eventually the finish comes when the Shield take out everybody. Dean Ambrose hits the dirty deeds on Baron Corbin. He hits a suicide dive on the outside onto one of the AOP members, and Seth Rollins does the same thing. But as Ambrose had hit suicide dive, Reigns tagged himself in and speared Baron Corbin for the win. And afterwards, it was like this moment where Dean Ambrose was outside the ring and he had to make a choice to go to the Pact or go to the Shield. And obviously he chose the Shield, and they did their pose together, and that was the end of Raw. I gotta say, Raw wasn't a bad show. Actually, I found myself pretty intrigued in Raw. I think one of the things I didn't like about this show as well, I liked they had a storyline playing out where Dean Ambrose was possibly going to turn on the Shield. You knew it would have made more sense for them to do this if we knew that we didn't have the match at Super Showdown. So I don't know why they did that, unless this is going to be a storyline that plays out throughout the next couple of weeks. But I just have a feeling the Shield aren't breaking up anytime soon, so I don't think anything's going to happen. Because the Pact's going to be around for a while, and so is the Shield, so that's just me. I would like Dean Ambrose to turn heel because he should turn heel. He looks like a heel. He just looks like he could kick the shit out of you, but it's not going to happen. If I had to rate Raw, it was actually a decent show. I don't think it was quite a good show, but I thought it was a decent show. I liked the Shield storyline for a change. It intrigued me. I liked the Raw Tag Team title match, but just wish they would have saved that. I liked the Kevin Owens Lashley segment. I did kind of like the Connor's Cure segment for different reasons, obviously. But that's essentially it. I didn't really like the Finn Balor Jinder Mahal match, the Chad Gable Connor match, the women's match, Alicia Fox versus Nia Jax, and essentially that's it. But Raw was a decent show. I'll give Raw a C+. I thought it was pretty decent. And I also didn't like Natalya and the Bella Twins versus the Wyatt Squad, too. Didn't like that. But, yeah, it was definitely interesting that Ruby Riott got knocked out. She got knocked the fuck out. I thought that was awesome. Actually, I shouldn't say that was awesome, but it just shows that Brie Bella shouldn't be wrestling. But essentially, that's pretty much my thoughts on Raw. I'll give Raw a C+. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell. So that way, every time I upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. Make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers and Owen the Talkinator YouTube channel. Has been posted on those two channels a lot more lately. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.